Hey everybody, welcome. This is No Bones About Wrestling. It's Monday, it's 6 p.m. That means it is time for AEW Weekly. I am one of your hosts, Asa, and this is my co-host, Kay Fabulous, as always. And we're here to bring you everything that is all elite for the past week, and maybe look ahead a little bit in the weeks to come as well. We're going to bring you recaps of Dynamite and Collision, of course. We're going to talk about kind of, where some storylines are going. We're going to, of course, bring you our top 5 rankings. Going to look at Revolution, look at those matches just a little bit. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We still got a month until the pay-per-view. Gonna get Kay Fabulous's fashion do's and don'ts and some other things as well. But let's get right to it with some recaps of the shows. And as you know, with our new format, the recaps, I try and go pretty quickly through these so we can get to discussions of other things. Now, Dynamite, January 31st. Where were they? Do you remember?
Nope.
All right. Somewhere. Opened with Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy, accompanied by Matt Hardy. And they told us the rules are relaxed. So it just basically meant no count out and pretty much no DQ. Moxley took an ink pen and twisted it in Jeff Hardy's ear hole. It was pretty sick. Moxley pile drived Jeff Hardy. Hardy hit a flipping splash on Moxley for a 2 count. Hardy hit a twist of fate and then missed a swanton bomb. Moxley put on a chokehold for the knockout win over Hardy. Pretty good match to open. Nice run of singles matches Jeff Hardy's been having. And of course, Moxley is on, he's on a great run that he's been on for a couple years. Honestly, 4 bones out of 5 this match was for the opener.
I remembered where they were. They were in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, that's right. They were I remember they were in the same arena that WCW held Halloween Havoc 1993. Because I remember saying that.
Mm-hmm.
After the match, Moxley tried to shake Jeff's hand, but Jeff Hardy gave him a rude gesture. He did this. And put like the Hardy guns up, So if you're listening to the audio version, he gave him kind of an up yours with the Hardy guns included in it. So I don't know if we're seeing a Jeff Hardy heel turn coming or what. That's what some people are saying. I'm not sure if that's what we're seeing.
It'd be nice if they did something with him.
Yeah, true. So we had been shown 4 CMLL wrestlers in the crowd in the front row. CMLL, one of the premier, if not the premier, wrestling league in Mexico. And the 4 CMLL guys jump Jon Moxley. And they are, I'm trying to remember all their names. There's Volador Jr., Hechicero.
Mascara.
There's Mascara, Dorado. And I can't remember the 4th. Oh, Mystico.
Yeah.
And they jump Jon Moxley. And Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, Daddy Magic, and Angelo Parker run in to make the save for Jon Moxley because they told us the Blackpool Combat Club were not in attendance for Dynamite. The rest of the Blackpool Combat Club were not in attendance for Dynamite. Up next was the first Dealer's Choice match between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. And it was Hangman Adam Page versus Toa Leona of the Mogul Embassy. Leona charged Hangman, knocking him over the top rope to the outside. Leona caught Page in a tree of woe and kept headbutting him. Leona missed a moonsault from the apron to the floor. Hangman hit an Arihara moonsault from the top rope to the floor on Toa. Toa tried a fireman's carry drop on Page, who reversed it into the winning pinfall. Another good match to start off this Dynamite. 4 bones out of 5. And this was Toa Leona's first pinfall loss in AEW.
That was his first singles match in AEW also.
Right. Up next, the Young Bucks, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, arrived, and they find some AEW worker, I didn't recognize the guy, who called them Nick and Matt. Up next, we had a non-title match with AAA World Cruiserweight Champion Commander taking on Wardlow of the Undisputed Kingdom. Wardlow threw Commander all around. Commander hit a rope walk drop kick. Commander hit a Phoenix Splash for a 2 count on Wardlow. Wardlow hit a power bomb. Looked like he injured his knee in the process, though. Kind of his knee buckled as he held up Commander. He still power bombed him, though, and got the pin and the win. This match, Commander got in a little offense, but it was almost a squash match. And, we knew Wardlow was going to win going into it. Wasn't much to it. 2 bones out of 5. Wasn't a very interesting match at all. The wrestling was totally fine. Like I said, there's just not any mystery to what was going to happen, who was going to win at all. And very short match, very squashy. They could have made it a little more competitive. But I know they're trying to get Wardlow over as a monster still, so it is what it is. After the match, Roderick Strong came in and told Commander he should have taken his deal. Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and Chuck Taylor came out and kind of faced down the Undisputed Kingdom, and then the Undisputed Kingdom left. We're going to talk about that feud kind of brewing. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Tony Schiavone had a sit-down interview with Sting and Darby Allin, as well as Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the World Tag Team Champions. Starks acted like a little asshole for most of the interview, then threw water on Darby Allin. That was pretty much how the interview went. And as you may know, Sting and Darby Allin are getting a tag team title shot in 2 days from now on Dynamite.
In a tornado tag.
Right. Should be a good match. And we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Up next, we had another non-title match. We had Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher, accompanied by Don Callis and Powerhouse Hobbs, and he took on Chris Jericho. Jericho went for a lion salt. Hobbs interfered. Got a 2 count, did Fletcher. Jericho got Fletcher in the walls of Jericho. Fletcher reached the ropes to get out of it. Fletcher dove through the ropes into the Judas effect. Back inside the ring, another Judas effect on Fletcher, off the top rope this time, for the pin and the win for Jericho. Good match, 4 bones out of 5. Konosuke Takeshita came out, and he and Jericho kind of faced each other down. They are fighting on Dynamite also 2 days from now. Up next, there was a Deonna Purrazzo bit about her matching duck tattoo with Toni Storm. Pretty much talking about, what was she talking about?
She's talking about all the tattoos that she had or something, and then finally ended on the matching one she had with Tony. And I think the gist was basically she's going to put all that aside and take her on,
Yeah. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang came out. They brought out Card Blade, but he's been fired, apparently. They then brought out the Juice Board, as he is known, the cardboard cutout of Juice Robinson. They messed around for a little bit, played around. They said, "We got 2 words for you." They said, "Suck it." The crowd said, "Suck it." They said, "Guns up." The crowd said, "Guns up." They left.
There was no rap.
And there was no rap, which was a bummer, yeah. Max Caster came out with no rap.
How do you have the Acclaim come out and not have a rap?
I don't know.
It's shameful.
But yeah, so that was just a segment just for fun, I guess. Just there was nothing transpired at all, just for fun. Speaking of Max Caster's rap, got himself in a little hot water over the weekend. he was at an indie show and he said something along the lines of, I wish I had the exact quote. I wish I could remember it. Something along the lines of what, my words are filthier than McMahon's, something like that, you know. And people are up in arms and want Max Caster to get canceled over this, want him to get suspended. Some people online want him to get suspended over this. I don't see this as a big deal at all, you know. Not at all.
Me either.
I mean, and I'm all, totally against, you know, obviously, totally against Vince McMahon, and, you know, totally in favor of a giant investigation into Vince McMahon. If we can't mock, you know, he's not mocking the sexual assault. I think he was mocking the sexual assaulter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference there. If we can't mock sexual assaulters, who can we mock, you know? That's how I see it. I think people need to just lighten up a little bit, you know, and think.
I agree with you, but that was a really weird way to say that.
What?
If we can't mock sexual assaulters, who can we mock?
Well, I mean, they're the filth of society, you know? If we can't make fun of them, who can we fucking make fun of? Up next, Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Luther came out. Toni Storm on commentary for the next match. Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie, accompanied by Johnny TV. Purrazzo caught Taya Valkyrie in the Venus de Milo for the submission win. This match, 3 bones out of 5. Decent women's match. Renee was with Darby Allin in the back. The Young Bucks come by and accuse Darby Allin of ignoring their text messages. They offer him a new trios gimmick with them, and they also call Sting a 65-year-old leech. So they're pretty much just trying to get under Darby Allin's skin. I don't know if it seemed to work or not. Didn't seem to. AEW World Champion Samoa Joe came out to do commentary for the main event, which was the second Dealer's Choice match, which saw Swerve Strickland taking on Hangman Page's pick, which they had given a lot of hints, and, you know, we picked it right. A lot of people picked it right. But we picked it right on the show last week. You know, of course, it was Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match. RVD hit a spinning flying leg drop from the apron to the guardrail, and RVD looked great. He had dropped some weight, looked great in this match. 53 years old, I believe.
Looks like he's significantly upped his cardio game.
Yeah, as well, yeah. Rolling Thunder by RVD. Brian Cage interferes. Hook comes in, hits Cage with a chair twice, and they fight each other off to the back. RVD hit Swerve with a steel chair, and Swerve fell through a table. But Swerve ended up hitting the Swerve Stomp for the pin and the win over RVD. Very good match. 4 bones out of 5. It was the match of the night on Dynamite. Hangman came out and told Swerve that they'll probably be the top 2 contenders in the official AEW rankings when they came out. Swerve said he's already beaten Page twice, but he'll do it one more time. And so for Dynamite next week, meaning, you know, 2 days from right now, we've got Hangman versus Page 3 for the world title shot at Revolution against Samoa Joe. We've got Starks and Big Bill versus Sting and Darby Allin in a tornado tag match for the world tag team titles. We've got Jericho versus Takeshita. We've got 3 of the CMLL guys versus 3 of the Blackpool Combat Club guys in a trios match, and a big announcement from Tony Khan. So big Dynamite this week from Phoenix, Arizona. Very much looking forward to it. All right, and now for Collision, February 3rd in Edinburgh, Texas, I believe is where they were. Non-title was an eliminator match with Continental Crown champion Eddie Kingston taking on the bounty hunter Brian Keith. Spinning back fist by Kingston. He got the pin and the win. Very good opener on Collision. 4 bones out of 5 match. After the match, Tony Schiavone came in the ring and announced Brian Keith is now All Elite. So I guess he got a full-time contract. Bryan Danielson came out and points at Brian Keith for applause, I guess. And the crowd gives him applause. And Brian Keith has definitely earned his way onto the AEW roster, I would say, yeah?
Oh, definitely.
Up next, we get a recap of the CMLL invasion, as you know, whatever we want to call it here. And then we get a Moxley promo on the CMLL guys, wherein he calls WWE easy, lazy American wrestlers. He also says to the CMLL guys, he says, "You better hope we never show up in your backyard," which I guess is a hint that we may see AEW show up on CMLL. Up next, we saw Bryan Danielson against Hechicero from CMLL. The Wizard, I believe that's right. That's what that's Spanish for, the Wizard. And he came out doing magic tricks with fire.
It was awesome.
Very cool. And he has holograms on his pants also, which I really enjoyed. Big fan of Hechicero. Hechicero put on the surfboard and rolled around the ring with Danielson. Very cool. Hechicero broke the label lock, which Danielson had gotten on him. And Hechicero used some unique submission holds throughout the match that I hadn't seen before. Rolling around for pins, and the two were exchanging pinfalls. Eventually, Danielson pins Hechicero, gets the win. Very good technical wrestling match. 4.5 bones out of 5. This was the match of the night on Collision. This was the match of the week for AEW. Danielson over Hechicero. Very cool match. After the match, Hechicero attacks Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli has to come in for the save. Up next, we get a Daniel Garcia and FTR promo. They say they're enjoying this newfound team and enjoy being ranked in the trios. The AEW official rankings came out, and they were ranked in the trios. Up next, we had a handicap match, kind of strange. It was Hook versus the Outrunners, and Hook got a win. He put one of the Outrunners in the Red Rum chokehold and got the submission win. Very short match. Next, Mark Briscoe was in ring with Tony Schiavone. He was talking about his aggression, his love for wrestling, all that, and winning the crowd over as he usually does. The House of Black comes on the giant screen and tells him that they are going to erase him from wrestling history. Eradicate him from wrestling history, I think, is the word that they used. Next, Adam Copeland, open challenge, hype video, kind of recap about the Cope Open, what's going on with him fighting his way back to TNT title contention. And next, we get Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata. Good match. Swinging neckbreaker by Deeb. Deeb put on a figure 4 on Queen Aminata around the ring posts on the outside of the ring. And Deeb ended up winning with the Serenity Lock. Good match. 4 bones out of 5. Next, Tony Schiavone had Swerve Strickland in ring with Prince Nana. Strickland says he wants to be #1 contender, and he'll beat Adam Page and make Black history at Revolution by becoming the first Black AEW champion, AEW World Champion, that is. He tells Prince Nana not to interfere in the #1 contender match Wednesday on Dynamite. Next, Toni Storm says she's going to hold a public workout. So we'll see what comes of that.
It's a match against Red Velvet.
What?
There's a match scheduled against Red Velvet for this week, I thought. I thought that's what the public
That's her
workout.
public workout?
I think she was referring to it as a public workout.
Oh, I didn't get that. Okay, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Not positive.
Next, we got Red Velvet versus Vert Vixen. It was a squash match. Red Velvet won after her spinning kick Stir It Up, which she totally missed. Was not good.
Not good at all.
Main event, 6-man tag, the Patriarchy, Kill Switch, TNT champion Christian Cage and Nick Wayne versus Daniel Garcia and FTR. A nice fisherman suplex by Wayne on Garcia. Kill Switch chokeslammed Cash Wheeler. Dax Harwood got Christian in the sharpshooter, but Wayne saved him with Wayne's World. And eventually Garcia rolls up Wayne for the pin and the win. This was a very frantic, very involved 6-man tag team match. Nice main event for Collision. 4.5 bones out of 5. And after the match, Garcia and FTR dance at Christian. And Garcia and FTR pose. And Garcia kind of stares down Christian, looking like he wants a TNT title shot. Collision, very good show. Both shows were good this week. A little bit of story advancement, just enough that we get the stories advanced some for the pay-per-view. But good wrestling all around. Just the Wardlow match was the only thing that wasn't so great this week. And the squash matches, of course, on Collision, the 2 squash matches, were not so great. But Collision was a great show, two great matches on it, and good wrestling all around, and a nice array of wrestling. Very, very different styles on display, and that was obviously a conscious decision by Tony Khan, and he did a great job of putting, as I said, an array of wrestling styles up on television for Collision. So that was a nice treat. It was a lot of fun to watch on Saturday. So up next, one of our newer segments, and it's called A Closer Look. And this week we're going to take a closer look at one of the top 2 contenders officially in AEW's eyes for the world title. And that is Swerve Strickland.
He was number 1 on the rankings.
In their rankings.
In their rankings.
So let's take a closer look at him. Got a big win over Rob Van Dam this week on Dynamite in a very good match. And so one of the more interesting things about Swerve, I think, is that despite AEW doing their best to present this guy as a dirty, no good heel, literally hanging Hangman, breaking into Hangman's house, harassing his infant son. Cheating to win matches left and right.
He smashed a framed picture of Nick Wayne's dad on Nick Wayne's face and bloodied him up in his home gym.
Right. Despite their best efforts to present him as a heel, people love him.
I love him.
I love him, yeah.
I love him.
But just the public loves him too, which I don't know if they would count that as a problem or what.
I feel like with his promo this week, he's like taking baby steps towards being like the good bad guy.
Yeah.
And embracing it.
How?
Well, it seemed very much like a face promo until he was like, I've done a lot of bad things and I'm not sorry for any of them. That one line seemed heelish, but everything else seemed pretty facey, I thought. That's our dog.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, Well, and he did tell Prince Nana not to interfere in the number one contender match coming up on Dynamite this Wednesday, which was kind of a face thing to do.
Yeah, but he was doing it because he didn't want Adam Page to have any more excuses as to why he lost. So it wasn't like because he was being kind.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, do you see that as a problem? Them trying to present him as a heel, but the crowd treating him as a face?
No, I mean, we had the same thing happen with MJF before his face turn. Like, if you have wrestlers that are just such good wrestlers, like, I don't think no matter what you do, you can make them unlikable.
Yeah.
Without making them just, like, detestable human beings that you don't even want to watch. It's like, in order to be a good heel, they have to hate you but still want to watch you,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they could do anything to Swerve to make people hate him.
Well, I mean, if he ends up getting the world title shot against Samoa Joe at Revolution, which we're going to, so he'll be the face, right?
Yeah.
And probably, don't you think?
Oh, I think definitely
Against Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a strange thing to have Swerve Strickland as the face, won't it?
Not really, because even when he wrestles, like, most of the faces that he wrestles, I'm still for Swerve over the face.
It's not about who you're for. I'm talking about how the character is presented on TV. He's presented as a heel. He has a damn posse of no goodniks with him, the Mogul Embassy, to help him cheat. He has Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony and Prince Nana to help him cheat. And Mike says when the bad guy is that cool, he's going to get cheers. Yeah, no doubt. Very true. I mean, I've compared him, Swerve, I've compared him on here in the past to Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's kind of Stone Cold Steve Austin effect back in 1996, 1997. When the bad guy is that cool, he's going to get cheers. And it's a question of how purposeful is it on AEW's part? Is that what they want? I mean,
I don't think that's what they intended, but I don't think they're upset about that reaction.
But do you think it seems like they're going with it now, right?
I think they're definitely going with it. And they have to. I mean, in that Samoa Joe match, no one's going to be cheering for Samoa Joe. Like maybe like two guys in the audience will be cheering for Samoa Joe, but everyone wants to see Swerve win because everyone loves Swerve. So even if he was wrestling a face, Swerve was for the belt, like he would be the face in the match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they were talking about Swerve and Hangman the other night, Hangman's name got booed, and Swerve got cheered. While Swerve was out there, at least while Swerve was out there in person.
They started a little bit of a Hangman chant, but that died out really quickly.
Yeah. And so who knows? It might have been different if Hangman were out there.
I don't think so.
But so now, if say they are going to treat Swerve as a face, so he's got a bad guy posse. Does he dump the Mogul Embassy?
No, I think you keep his character the exact same.
Really?
People love him.
And he's got Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony and Prince Nana, who all help him cheat to win matches. You keep it all the same?
Maybe stop with the cheating. But still have
But you keep the bad guys, but he still has 4 bad guys with him?
Yes.
So he's a good guy with 4 bad guys in tow.
Well, no, he's not a good guy. He's still a bad guy, but he's so bad he's good,
I don't know. I feel like you're giving me different answers here.
I don't feel like, I guess the term is tweener, as I've heard other people say. I think that's where he is, and I feel like that's an okay place for him to be, and he can keep the Mogul Embassy and Prince Nana and still be a tweener. I think part of why Swerve's so over is because of Prince Nana. People love that man.
That's true.
It's
true.
He's like Mark Briscoe level love, you know?
That's true. More.
Yeah.
People love him more than Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Swerve has definitely been on a roll, undefeated this year in AEW. Ranked officially by them #1 this week. Are they doing their rankings weekly or monthly? What are they doing?
I thought it was weekly, but I think I just
don't know.
assumed that. I don't think I read that anywhere.
We do ours weekly. We'll see where he's ranked with us later tonight. But he's ranked #1 with them for right now, officially. But yeah, so on quite a roll, on the roll of his career, and that's the question: is it going to take him all the way to the world title at Revolution? I personally, I would love it if it did. You know, I would love to see it. You know, like I said, we're gonna be there. I would love to be there when Swerve wins the world title.
Yeah, me too.
That would be very cool.
So is that what I mean? I know a lot of people thought heading towards Revolution that at Revolution we were going to get a 3-way with Hangman, Joe, and Swerve. But this match tomorrow or 2 nights from now kind of makes it seem like that's not going to be the case.
Well, that's another thing we could talk about is, you know, it has seemed like we're heading towards a triple threat. So do they somehow give us an inconclusive ending and make us head towards a triple threat? You know, do we get a double disqualification somehow? Do we get a double count out?
Or a time limit draw?
Time limit draw. Yeah.
I can't decide what I want. Like I can't decide if I want Swerve and Joe to just be 1-on-1 or.
I always prefer 1-on-1 for a title, especially. I mean, I prefer 1-on-1 matches in general. You know.
Yeah.
I just when you got an extra man in the ring, I feel like you have to do so many things that end up feeling a little forced. You know.
I just feel like it interrupts the flow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You have to set up this spot. You have to do this spot. You have to like force other spots in to set up X spot.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to jam things in there that wouldn't normally have to be put in there to get a spot between guy A and guy B to get guy C out of the way. You know.
Yeah.
And it just muddies the waters. You know. For me, that's why I prefer singles matches. You know. I mean, I'm sure if these 3 did a triple threat match, I'm sure it would be awesome. I think I would prefer a singles match though. But who knows? I'll take whatever we're given, obviously.
Will this be Joe's second defense?
If he doesn't do one, if he doesn't have another one in between now and then, that will be the second defense. Yes, first and only has been against Hook. Yeah.
I don't see them having him drop the belt that quickly in a 1-on-1 match.
Really?
Yeah, like I could see Swerve pinning Hangman in a triple threat. And Joe not taking the pin to like lose the belt but not lose the belt, you know? Because that's fast. To only have fought Hook. Like the smallest guy in the company.
Yeah.
Like that's your one big defense before you lose the belt.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I have my doubts, but I could see it happening. I could see Swerve taking it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, it does make me kind of doubtful. Just like you're saying, the fact that he has only defended against Hook makes me a little doubtful that they'll take it away from him with that being his only defense. Yeah.
And what I don't want to have happen is I don't want Swerve to get his title shot against Joe 1-on-1 and then lose.
Yeah.
Because then I feel like that puts him at the back of the line again, you know?
Well, not quite the back of the line, but yeah, it might be a
Back of
minute.
the back of the A-level line.
Might be
know.
a minute. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting where he stands, but I just think the time is right for Swerve, and the time is right for AEW to, strike while the iron is hot. I say put the belt on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. The guy's hot. Fans love him. He's wrestling. He's doing like the best work that he's done while he's been in AEW. That's for sure. I say give the guy the belt. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, while we were talking, I was thinking about like who else would be in line besides Hangman for like possible title shots, and it just made me realize Will Ospreay's supposed to be here, right? It's February. Where is he? Is he coming to Revolution?
He's coming. He's coming soon. He is supposed to wrestle at Revolution. Yeah. But he's supposed to show up on TV soon, I believe.
Like cutting a fine line here. Like that's not a lot of time.
He'll be here soon.
Yeah.
I believe. I know his final independent match is something like February 17th or 18th, but I don't know if he plans on appearing in AEW before then or not. I have no idea. But I presumed the plan was for him to be on TV in February, and he told us himself he'd be at Revolution. So he damn well better be at Revolution.
He didn't specify in a match, but I assumed it was in a match.
I want to go back and look at that because I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember if he said in a match or not.
So what made me think of this was I was thinking of if Swerve wins the title, I feel like the Hangman story can be done at that point. Who's going to be the next person to go after it?
Yeah, Will Ospreay's right there.
Will Ospreay's right there, yeah.
Or Samoa Joe can get a rematch. There's no reason to throw Samoa Joe out totally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right there. He's a former champion. Samoa Joe, Will Ospreay. I think those would be the top two.
I feel like at some point, I know he's out with illness at the moment, but I feel like Kenny Omega has to be in that scene at some point, right? He hasn't had the belt.
Yeah, but we don't know when he's going to be back. It's going to be a while.
Well, they said it was like 7 weeks to even figure out if they could do surgery.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a long while.
Yeah. So I wouldn't count him in the scene just yet.
Yeah.
Mike said, I always felt it would be best of 7. Like Benoit Booker. I think he's talking about Hangman and Page. Like Benoit Booker. Yeah, he's talking about WCW back in the day. Maybe. I don't see any reason why not. Yeah, when you got two guys who are having, matches this good against one another, make it best of 7. There's no reason not to.
That would be awesome.
I mean, Swerve wants to end it, but Swerve's talking about ending it, and I just don't see it going 3-0 for Swerve on Wednesday.
Yeah, me either.
I don't see it going that way. I don't know. Like I said, I just see the most likely thing being some sort of a double DQ or a double count out to make it a triple threat. I think that's the way we've been going, and I think that's the way it continues. And I don't see Swerve making it 3-0 and it being Joe versus Swerve.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Well, I definitely don't see it being Hangman versus Joe.
As singles?
Yeah, no. Not at all.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think it would be more likely to be Swerve versus Joe than Hangman versus Joe as the singles. Yeah. But like I said, I think triple threat is what they're going to do. They're going to figure out some way to do a triple threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with Mike. Make it a best of 7. Yeah, keep
awesome.
it going. Yeah, keep it going. Why not? And that was Benoit and Booker. That was over the World Television title in WCW. That wasn't even over the world title. And those guys had a hell of a series against each other. That made, in a way, kind of made both of them in WCW. Really legitimized Booker T as a single star, and really made Benoit someone on the radar. If he wasn't already on your radar, it put him on your radar. To a certain group of fans, Benoit was always on the radar because they knew him from Japan. But that best of 7 series with Booker T sure as hell put him on the radar. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, they just look right together. Yeah, true. They're I mean, I can't think of a modern day rivalry that's better in wrestling. Yeah. He says reminds me of an early Austin Rock as well. Yeah, definitely. I mean, these two are doing great work together. I totally agree. They bring out the best in each other.
And it's so nice after seeing them like not know what to do with Hangman and like mixing him up with Dark Order and that whole like depressed Hangman thing, like to come out of that with the Swerve feud, I feel like was such a step in the right direction.
All right, and we kind of got off track and started talking a little more about Hangman and future things, but that has been a closer look at Swerve Strickland. So yeah, best of luck to Swerve on Wednesday, trying to get his title shot for Revolution. So now for a segment called "Where's This Going?" And this is where we take some incidents from television this past week, and we talk about them, and we ask the question, where's this going? And so, first off, let's talk about is the Undisputed Kingdom falling flat since the Devil reveal? Okay, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah? Tell me why.
No hesitation, yes.
Yeah, why?
Because the Devil storyline was so huge and there was so much happening and it was so compelling and like everyone was so interested. And then they revealed it was Michael Cole. I mean, Adam Cole. And then after that, 2 weeks in a row, we got the exact same promo. I think doing that same sort of like long explanation promo, doing it that second time, just like killed it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't care. Like, I love the Kingdom and I love Roderick Strong, but I don't care what's happening with them right now because nothing's happening with them right now. I don't find Wardlow very interesting. I know that you and I don't agree on that necessarily, but there's nothing going on with his character. I'm so glad that they finally got Adam Cole off crutches and in a wheelchair, because having him limp out there on crutches as the leader of this faction is not a good look.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they haven't had any real competitors since then. Even the Kingdom with the ROH titles, like, they've had some defenses, but they've been easy defenses.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been any story behind any of them.
Well, that's the thing, is there's been no competition. Like you said, they've had the Kingdom have the Ring of Honor tag titles, but there's been no real defenses. They've had Wardlow. They say he's going after the world title, but all they've had him do is win glorified squash matches, which have been uninteresting, and frankly have been every week have been the worst match on television, just because they're boring. You know, frankly, they're boring. They're not interesting. Adam Cole hasn't been doing any like evil hijinks, hasn't been leading them towards anything in particular. Roderick Strong, at least he's going after the international title in Orange Cassidy, so that's been interesting. That's been one thing that's been interesting.
But kind of. I mean, he announced that he was going after it, but all they've done since then is stare at each other.
Exactly, right. And they have this feud going kind of with the best friends,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't even like touched each other. What gives with that, you know?
Well, you could say the same thing for the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. The whole reason they made
Yeah.
the super faction was because of the Undisputed Kingdom, and they haven't even been in the same room as the Undisputed Kingdom.
But we're getting
then.
no fights, no fighting.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What gives?
Like, I expected immediately, as soon as they announced that Roddy was going after that title, for them to start taking out the best friends one by one,
Right.
like we saw them do when they were hooded minions, you know, like
right.
something.
Well, that was your idea, right?
Yeah.
Start. Right.
But I mean, it was my idea because, like, I really thought that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, start taking out Orange Cassidy's friends, right?
Because I expected
to piss him off.
something to happen.
Yeah,
and
that would
instead,
be
nothing has happened.
Right, that would be interesting. That would
Yeah.
be something. But right, as you say, we have this new supergroup, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, or Bullet Club Pink,
Mm-hmm.
But no physical confrontation at all, no fights, and we have the best friends, and they just stare at each other. What the fuck's going on with this booking?
But it's not even just no physical confrontation. There's been no confrontation, like not even verbal confrontation between the Bang Bang Scissor Gang and the Undisputed Kingdom. It's really hard to say Bang Bang Scissor Gang with a straight face.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, true. It's hard to have a serious conversation and say Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's being, totally misbooked.
Mm-hmm.
Totally misbooked. I don't know where they're going. I mean, I'm sure the plans, went up in smoke with MJF getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they went up in smoke, but you got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You got to come up with something.
You
can't have them just roaming around doing nothing, saying
like
we're saying we're going to get belts, and then just kind of like easing their way up to them.
Yeah,
that's not intimidating at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they're doing right now is not. It's not evil. It's not intimidating. It's not scaring anybody. I mean, they should be. The way that they were presented, the way this fucking angle was so long drawn out, and they were presented as such this evil force hanging over the company, they should be the first thing on your minds when you turn on the TV,
Mm-hmm.
They should be ruling over AEW right now, I think.
Yeah.
But they're not.
And what's so weird is like the drastic drop. Because like through the last half of 2023, that was like the most interesting thing that was happening in AEW, mm-hmm. and the most compelling storytelling they were doing. And then they had like a sort of lackluster reveal with the devil.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's just been like, wah.
Yeah. So where's it going?
Seemingly nowhere.
Nowhere?
I mean...
Is that we truly...
I mean... I kind of think Roderick Strong's going to win against Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, that is a huge mistake.
No, he's for sure winning.
Yeah. And so maybe once 3 of them have belts, they'll start doing something. I don't know. And then why is Wardlow not going after Joe right now?
I don't know. Maybe just biding his time. I mean, that's another one we didn't mention. And who's next? Wardlow, throw him into the mix.
Yeah.
Say like if Swerve wins, you got Samoa Joe, Will Ospreay, Wardlow, all in the mix for the world title.
That whole situation is so weird because like Adam Cole was like, Wardlow's gonna go after the world title, and then as soon as I'm better, he's gonna give it to me. Yeah. And like Wardlow did not keep a straight face when he said that, and like obviously made like a face.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that he was supposed to do that. But it's hard to like envision him in this big push for a belt that he's not keeping, like what's lighting a fire in him if he's going to hand it over to Cole.
Just proving that he can win it, proving that he can do it.
And I feel like announcing that was like him taking like a drastically high leap in the rankings of AEW, Wardlow.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, I mean, he's a big guy, and all the big guys just have squash matches all the time.
Basically.
So, like, how did he all of a sudden, like, I know he's going after it, but I don't know. He doesn't, that seems like he shouldn't be throwing his name into the ring, his hat into the ring, you know? Because he's not there, you know?
Well, it's too late now. It's happening.
Too late now. I know it's happening, but it just seemed odd.
Yeah, so we'll see. Undisputed Kingdom has to pick it up. They got to start doing some bad shit. They got to start doing something.
Yeah.
And being more imposing and just stirring shit up, you know? And like I said, right now they're just kind of walking around, rolling Adam Cole around, not doing much of anything, staring people down, and it's not enough. Like I said, they should be the first thing on your mind when you turn on AEW right now. They should be the first thing on your mind. Oh, what are these fuckers going to do tonight? But that's not the case. Right now, when they show up, it's like, oh yeah, these guys are still around. You know?
Like, they're not even cheating in their matches.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad guy 101,
No.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
So yeah, I don't know. All right, feud between the Blackpool Combat Club and CMLL. Mike said if Joe retains, he can see it with Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Feud between Blackpool Combat Club and the CMLL guys.
Mm-hmm.
Where's it going? Where are we going with this?
I hope it's leading to like an ongoing feud up to Forbidden Door.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Because if we can get either a CMLL Forbidden Door or a CMLL New Japan AEW Forbidden Door, that would be awesome.
Or what people are now hoping is we're going to maybe have an AEW CMLL New Japan Stardom Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Because one piece of news, apparently there's a guy working for Stardom who was a pipeline for, or he was like basically like working for WWE as well. Did you read about this?
No.
And he's gone now. Basically, I think they found out what was up with him and got rid of him, pressured him out.
Oh, it was like he was there like poaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's gone now, and he was kind of being a barrier for there being a deal between Stardom and AEW.
I see.
So now people think that there will be a deal, or could be a deal at least, between Stardom and AEW, which would be awesome. Yeah, if we could have a Stardom, AEW, New Japan, CMLL Forbidden Door, that would be great. And like Mike says, yeah, show in Mexico, like John Moxley mentioned, you know, he said he threatened the CMLL guys with showing up in their backyard. Yeah, showing up in Arena Mexico would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the CMLL shows from time to time, but just money, you know, because you can pay to get them here in the U.S. But yeah, that's the thing, you got to pay to get them. Every Friday night they're in Arena Mexico, I believe, CMLL. So I can definitely see AEW guys showing up in Mexico. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the CMLL guys have been so impressive since showing up in AEW already, and I can't wait to see what goes down on Dynamite with this trios match on Wednesday too.
I think they're gonna need like not Alex Abrahantes, but someone like Alex Abrahantes or Jose the assistant to manage them, to be like the voice for them.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, our number one complaint with New Japan is that we had no idea who the guys were, and they didn't do any kind of like build explaining who these people were. Why should we care about them? And so I feel like if they're going to do this with CMLL, they should rectify the mistakes they've made with New Japan. And so I think, I mean, when they were sitting at ringside during that Moxley match before they hopped the barrier to attack him, there was someone with them that wasn't a wrestler but was like clearly with them. So I don't know if that's their manager. But yeah, I feel like they need a mouthpiece, don't you think? Or they're just going to wrestle and then go away?
Couldn't hurt, but I don't know. Just letting the wrestling do the talking. That couldn't hurt either. I'm totally for that.
But if you have
and the guys have such different styles, I think that could totally work.
But if you have the BCC cutting promos on the CMLL guys, you need something going both ways. I feel like.
Yeah, I say just let them cut promos in Spanish and let people read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine too. I just meant they need something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
I'm fine with that.
That would actually probably be better.
But whatever happens, I'm looking forward to it very much. So the start of it has been fantastic, and I can't wait to see where it's going. Yeah. Up next, this one's kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't expect this or see this storyline coming. The House of Black going after Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, it seems super out of left field.
Yeah. So where's this going?
I have no idea. I feel like there's like a million different directions they could go with it. Like,
let's talk about where it started.
So it started with the House of Black jumping Daniel Garcia before their cage match against FTR and Daniel Garcia. And Mark Briscoe volunteered to be the third man. And so when they were coming out for the match, when Mark Briscoe made his entrance, the House of Black jumped him and basically threw him through a table, and he just kind of disappeared for most of the match.
Right.
And Daniel Garcia took his original spot. But at the end of the match, or towards the end of the match, Malachi Black was exiting through the doorway to try and be the final man to escape for his team to win the match. And Mark Briscoe kicked the door shut on him and like knocked him back into the ring, allowing Daniel Garcia.
Didn't he slam it shut on his head? Isn't that what he did?
Oh yeah, kicked it shut on his head. Yeah. But that's what allowed Daniel Garcia to secure the win for FTR.
So yeah, that pissed House of Black off. Yeah. Something fierce.
I never would have guessed it would have resulted in them going after him though. Like.
But yeah, it's weird.
Weird.
They've singled him out. Really, they've pissed them off. I mean, definitely, and they said they're going to eradicate him from wrestling history. So what are they going to do to him?
I don't know. There's so many of them, and there's only one of him. Like, is FTR and Daniel Garcia, are they going to help him out with this? Because if you do, then it's 4-on-3.
That would be 4-on-4. I mean, you got to count Julia Hart.
I wasn't counting Julia Hart because if they're in a ring, she's not going to be in the ring with them.
Who knows?
They're not going to do that.
Who knows? Yeah, but she does stuff.
No, I know she does stuff. Like, but I'm saying,
she'll spit mist on people and or whatever you call it, goo. Whenever she spits on people.
I think mist is fine. Goo sounds a little viscous.
Well, it's not mist that she spits. It's something else. It is viscous. She spits like goo on people. It's not mist.
It's a black mist.
It's gooier. It's not mist.
It's not like hanging from her mouth, like in like dog
It appears
trails.
slimier than mist.
I don't think so.
I think so. Anyways, she does stuff. Is my point. So you got to count 4-on-4.
Okay.
But yeah, where's this going? Yeah, is Briscoe on his own? Is he? Yes. You think FTR and Garcia have his back?
I would hope so, since he kind of saved them, and that's where this whole thing started.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike says none of it makes sense.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. Yeah. Haven't seen it make much. I mean, it makes sense that they are pissed off at Mark Briscoe.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
But to shift their focus entirely, because that's the only time we heard from them this week.
Yes.
Was when they were addressing Mark Briscoe.
Their only focus now is Mark Briscoe.
So they've shifted completely from FTR and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
To Mark Briscoe.
No belts, no FTR, no Daniel Garcia, just Mark Briscoe. Just like murdering Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, like eradicating him from wrestling history.
Yeah.
Very curious as to what that entails.
Yeah, really.
It made me think of Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way to do it.
That's a very specific threat, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Only time will tell.
Who knows? All right. This I wanted to bring up. Where's this going? Hook in handicap matches, because I was not a too big a fan of this. He fought on Collision. He fought the Outrunners, who I am a big fan of. I'm a fan of Hook as well, but what do you think about this? The smallest man on the roster taking on two guys at once. Are you fine with this?
Well, they had him going after monsters. You know, like he went after Joe, and he's going after Brian Cage. Wait, has that happened yet? No, right? Okay.
No.
So he's going after Brian Cage. And so I feel like if you're going to have him have matches in the meantime, and you're not having him have them against monsters, it needs to be some kind of match that's going to make him beating a monster more believable.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling he's going to win that Brian Cage match. And so I kind of get it. And it's not like he's going up against like FTR or whatever. What's the Black Throne? What are they called?
The Kings of the Black Throne.
He's going up against the Outrunners. And so I could see him beating them. I could see him beating like the Workhorsemen. But no like established primo tag teams.
Yeah. So you're fine with it?
I'm okay with it. It's just as believable as him possibly beating Brian Cage. I don't even know if he could wrap his arms around Brian Cage, you know? He's tiny.
It may be more believable than him beating Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Because at least the Outrunners are, you know, they're no Brian Cage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Brian Cage is
and they still had to like, tag in, you know, tag in and out and stuff. So I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, when I was watching the Outrunners match, I wasn't like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, true.
So,
because they are bungling losers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just that, and like that's the quality and caliber of handicap matches he needs to be in, like buffoon matches.
Yeah. I see. All right. The last where's this going I have is the tag team title picture. So Wednesday we have Big Bill and Ricky Starks putting the belts on the line against Sting and Darby Allin in a tornado tag match, supposedly on Dynamite. Supposedly that's the match we're getting. But, you know, at Revolution, it seems that we're getting Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. So here's the thing. You know, assume Sting and Darby Allin that they're undefeated. So assume they win on Wednesday. They win the belts. They go into Revolution undefeated with the belts against the Young Bucks. You think they keep the belts? You think they beat the Young Bucks at Revolution, keep the belts, and Sting wins? I mean, don't you see Sting, you know?
I see Sting retiring undefeated.
As a tag team.
As a tag team, yes. I don't think that should change.
So do you think they're going to win them Wednesday and take them to Revolution and just keep them?
I don't think that match is happening on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was why I brought this up.
I think the Young Bucks are going to substitute themselves
Yeah.
for Darby Allin and Sting.
Yeah.
So that, one, they can get that awesome heel heat of, like, stealing Darby Allin and Sting's chances at the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, two, the match at Revolution would make sense.
Yeah.
Storyline-wise.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. And we talked about this last week, I think.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel the same thing. And if they don't, that's what they should do.
You know, it's...
Is the Young Bucks should substitute themselves, say, no, we're executive vice presidents. We're taking the title shot tonight. And then Young Bucks win the belts. And then Young Bucks say, well, it's your last match. We'll give you a shot at Revolution. Why not?
Yeah.
You're on your way out. And then Sting and Darby Allin win them at Revolution from the Young Bucks. Win them for one night only.
Yeah.
And then, we vacate them. We have a tournament. Yes. Something.
That's like my whole hope for all of this is I want that tournament.
Really?
I want a tag tournament. Yeah.
So many fans are sick of the tournaments in AEW, but
after the Continental Classic, I need like an injection of tag wrestling.
I hear you. Yeah.
Because we missed it for so many episodes because of that, Yeah, I just need like a booster shot of tag team wrestling.
But tag team tournament, whatever it takes for Sting to go out as a champion, is whatever we have to do. I don't care.
In the Young Bucks promo, I forget what they said, but in the promo that they cut on, I think it was Dynamite this week, it made me think they're going to mess with that match on Wednesday.
Yeah. Like,
I already thought that, like, going into it, but something they said made me think, like, oh, they're going to actually probably do this.
Well, let's hope, because that'll be more interesting than the other way.
Yeah.
Than Sting and Darby just winning them and keeping them, which I'm still cool with, but it would be way more interesting a story to have the Young Bucks weasel their way in, win them, and then Sting and Darby have to win them on Sting's last night in wrestling.
Yeah.
Way better story. So that's what I hope is happening, but
guess we'll find out Wednesday.
We'll find out, yeah, where it's going. Yeah. And that has been Where's This Going? So up next, it is time.
I know it's coming.
For the top 5. It's the AEW Top 5, where every week we strive and sweat and slave to bring you the top 5 rankings, the top 5 men, the top 5 women, and the top 5 teams in AEW. We have a secret proprietary formula that can never be cracked, will never be given away, and we will take it to our watery graves. So what are we doing first?
Let's do men.
Men. Top 5 men. Number 5. Back in the top 5 after his win over Hechicero, Bryan Danielson. Number 4 got a win in the Eliminator match over what's the bounty hunter's name? Brian Keith. Number 4, Continental Crown champion Eddie Kingston. Number 3, up one spot from number 4 last week, got the win over, what was the guy's name?
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who. I haven't seen the final top 5.
Who'd he beat?
He beat Toa Leona.
Got the win over Toa Leona. Hangman Adam Page, number 3. Number 2, staying number 2 from last week, got the big win over Rob Van Dam, Swerve Strickland. And number 1, staying number 1, the AEW World Champion, Samoa Joe. So you got number 1, Samoa Joe. Number 2, Swerve Strickland. Number 3, Hangman Page. Number 4, Eddie Kingston. Number 5, Bryan Danielson. What do you want to do next? Women or teams?
Let's do women.
Women, number 5, Queen Aminata. After a very good showing against Serena Deeb, even in a loss. Number 4, Red Velvet, who won a squash match over.
Bert Vixen.
Yes, thank you. Over Vert Vixen. Those two are back in the top 5. Number 3, staying number 3 for this week, Serena Deeb, who beat Queen Aminata. Number 2, up 2 spaces from number 4 last week, the new number 1 contender, Deonna Purrazzo. And didn't she beat someone?
Yeah.
She had a match this week.
Was that also Queen Aminata? Did we see her twice this week?
No.
No?
She beat
Taya Valkyrie.
Taya Valkyrie. And number 1, staying number 1, the AEW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm. So number 1, Toni Storm. Number 2, Deonna Purrazzo. Number 3, Serena Deeb. Number 4, Red Velvet. And number 5, Queen Aminata. And so the top 5 teams. Number 5, back in the top 5, the undefeated tag team of Sting and Darby Allin. Number 4, down 1 spot from number 3 last week, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Number 3, up 1 spot from number 4 last week, the Ring of Honor 6-man Tag Team Champions, Bullet Club Gold. Number 2, same spot as last week, FTR and Daniel Garcia after that big win over the Patriarchy on Collision. And number 1, same spot as last week, the AEW World Trios Champions, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. So number 1, the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Number 2, FTR and Daniel Garcia. Number 3, Bullet Club Gold. Number 4, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Number 5, Sting and Darby Allin. And those are your top 5 rankings for this week. And coming up now, wrestling fashion do's and don'ts with Kay Fabulous. Do.
If your gimmick is you are a wizard, do use the world's greatest fashion accessory in your entrance, magical flaming rocks like CMLL's Hechicero.
Do.
If you are a West African queen, do wear an amazing cape covered in images of the continent like Queen Aminata.
Don't.
If you're in one of the biggest heel factions, don't show up in gear with a broken heart on the butt of your pants like Nick Wayne.
Do.
If you are a terrifying woman of 1,000 holds, do wear a Death by Deeb shirt like Serena Deeb.
Do.
If your gimmick is you have seemingly time traveled from the late 80s, early 90s, do have a rad bleach blonde mullet like the Outrunners.
Do.
If you are a virtuosa and a number 1 contender, do wear an elaborate robe with a giant feather collar like Deonna Purrazzo.
Don't.
If you're going to bleach your hair, don't only bleach the top of your head so it looks like a toupee like Kyle Fletcher. And that's this week's fashion do's and don'ts.
Thank you, Kay Fabulous. We appreciate it. And now for the AEW News Roundup. Hello, Dylan.
Hey, Dylan.
All right. AEW Rampage viewership averaged 382,000 viewers, down 2.1% from last week. Drew a 0.13 rating in the 18 through 49 demo, up 8.3% from last week. Not bad. Last Saturday's Collision averaged 300,000 viewers, down 32%. Yikes. Of course, that was up against the Royal Rumble and the Lakers versus the Warriors. Drew a 0.06 rating in the 18 through 49, down 50% from the last week. lowest in the show's history. Not good. Location announced for post-Revolution AEW Dynamite episode, Duluth, Georgia. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, Adam Copeland explained what made Christian a great heel. Copeland said Christian has done everything possible to make himself uncool, and it's his commitment that makes him a great heel. Former AEW champion MJF wrapped up filming on a comedy movie titled The Floaters this week. The plot involves a struggling musician who accepts a job mentoring misfit campers at her childhood Jewish summer camp. MJF's role is unannounced at this time. Tony Khan will make a big announcement on Dynamite this week. Wardlow says his knee is just fine after a AEW Dynamite match with Commander and an awkward powerbomb that saw his knee buckle. The AEW official rankings returned for the first time since 2022. They were released after Dynamite's episode. Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer say Wardlow's knee is not fine. He is getting what? He is getting it out.
I would just say he's getting it checked out.
He is getting it checked out, and it may be a torn meniscus. So not good news there for Wardlow. Hopefully he's fine, but it did not look good on Dynamite. After CMLL's attack on Moxley after his Dynamite match, Mox has teased returning the favor on CMLL in Mexico. AEW Dynamite viewership averaged 818,000, down 2.3% from last week, drew a .26 rating in the 18 through 49 demo, down 3.7% from last week. Jim Ross announced that he underwent cancer surgery on his right hip on Thursday and said all went well. So hopefully everything is done on the cancer front for Jim Ross.
It's not. There's more news about him later.
Oh, thank you. Women's World Title match was set for AEW Revolution. Deonna Purrazzo is challenging Women's World Champion Toni Storm. Roosh, who last wrestled on December 30th at World's End, has announced that he's ready to return to the ring after suffering a torn hamstring during the Continental Classic. Jim Ross tweeted this afternoon that he had another successful surgery. Hopefully, need your prayers. And that is the AEW News Roundup. And folks, that is our show for this evening and for this week. I want to thank you very much for joining us on AEW Weekly. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Hope you enjoyed the new backdrop that we have. Keep your eyes on YouTube. I'm gonna do a special little video about what I have back here. If you probably can't see everything, so if you care, there's gonna be a little video just detailing what I have. So I've got some neat stuff behind me, believe it or not, and I'm gonna do a little video about it. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. We will be back, of course, next Monday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. right here on YouTube or on X if you're watching us on X, or if you are listening to the audio-only version, wherever you get podcasts. We will be there next week.
Or if they're watching us on Twitch, I'm streaming it to Twitch.
Or if you're watching us on Twitch, we'll be on Twitch next week. So, yeah, check us out next week, same time, same place. 6 p.m. every Monday, AEW Weekly. We will be back with coverage of Collision, coverage of Dynamite, our rankings, the closer look at an AEW star, our Where's This Going segment, Kay Fabulous's fashion do's and don'ts, and we're going to have a couple new segments next week as well. So a couple funny segments as well next week. So keep your eye out for the news segments. Gonna try and make you laugh a little. So thanks.
Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of those episodes. In case you forget, it'll give you a nice reminder if you turn your notifications on. Also on Sundays, we do retro watch-alongs at 12:45. This month, every month has a different theme. This month we're doing shows that contain great Sting matches in honor of Sting retiring on March 3rd. So do you know what we're watching this week yet?
Not yet.
So
We're gonna watch some show that has a great Sting match on Sunday though. So it's gonna be on our all the same places. YouTube, X, Twitch. Sunday at 12:45. Meet us and look for an announcement on X this week. I'll announce what show we're watching. Meet us at 12:45. We'll go over the card, talk a little bit, and then at 1 o'clock we start the show. It'll be something that's available on the WWE network, so everyone can watch it. That has the network at least. It'll be something from the 80s or 90s, very likely. Something from WCW is what it'll be. But I haven't decided the show just yet. But that's what we're doing is, yes, classic Sting shows. So join us for that, definitely on Sundays. We've had some fun so far watching some good WCW and NWA stuff so far.
And if you weren't able to join us the previous Sundays, feel free to go back on our YouTube channel under live. You can catch them there and watch them anytime.
Under streams.
Oh, it's under live on mine.
Oh, well, under live or under streams, yeah. It's youtube.com/@nobonesaboutwrestling/streams.
Okay.
Is where you can find all our past streams. So the watch-alongs and our past shows like these as well. But yeah, and we're going to be on watch-along of AEW Dynamite, and that'll be broadcast on our channel here. We're going to be on Last Week in Wrestling's Dynamite watch-along on Wednesday night, and we'll broadcast that here. And we're going to be on Last Week in Wrestling's Collision watch-along on Saturday night as well, and we'll broadcast that here. So we'll see you several times this week if you want to see us. All AEW content, of course. That's kind of our thing, except for Sunday when we do the retro thing. So yeah, subscribe, share us around with your AEW friends, and share the Sunday thing with your classic loving friends and maybe your younger friends who don't know a lot about classic wrestling. Bring them around on Sunday. Show them what's good. And thanks for watching. And as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day. Bye. Thank you.